Hi, thank you so much for tuning in to P2P Relates, where we talk about all things relationships. I'm Pat Renfro, and as you can see, I have a guest today, Mr. Phillip Brown. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Welcome to the people.
Be prepared, people, to laugh a lot today. We are going to have a good time. I want to talk to Mr. Brown about relationships from a very different perspective. But before we go there, just want to remind you that this channel is about all things relationships. And when I talk about relationships, we can't have healthy relationships until we get us healthy. I got to know who I am. I got to understand how to interact with others. That means friendships. When I'm dating or if I'm married, it's not about all me. And if I'm in a business relationship, I've got to be professional, which means when you get on my nerves, I got to know how to interact with you properly. Now, a lot of times people will say, oh, I enjoyed your talk, but it really wasn't a whole lot I didn't know already. Guess what? When we go to learning events, when we attend conferences, and when we go, if we're church members, when we go sit down to listen to somebody teach us, probably 80% of what they talk about, you already knew. But do you need reminders? Do you need to be held accountable? Yes. So that's what I'm about. This channel is all about helping people understand that relationships matter. And when they're not healthy, they rise up in the most inconvenient way. So today, what I want to do is have Mr. Brown talk to us about his perspectives on relationships. As a teacher, he is doing some really progressive and profound things with youth. So I'm gonna let him tell you a lot more specifically about what he does, but I just want you to understand that's where we're going today. We're gonna be talking about relationships and how they matter in school and in so many different ways. So Mr. Brown, you wanna share with us about who you are and what you're about as it relates to relationships and an educator?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get my swag bundle going. You know what I'm saying, son? My beloved, rest in peace.
Special.
Hey, if you're on the East Coast, give me some more East Coast stuff. I only got a few, see? Look at this. See, I just got those. So give me some more, because I got like 10, but I need about 20 so I can talk all this East Coast all the time. Swag bundle, getting it on, son. Rest in peace, beloved.
I want you to tell them what your background is. Like, how did you get into what it is you do and why you do it?
Okay, this is great. I love having this conversation. I am one of 6 kids, and both of my parents were educators, and my mom was a music teacher. And she asked me way back when I was about 7 if I wanted to learn piano, because I was going in there and picking out stuff and doing all this stuff without no training. And I said, no, I don't want to play no sissy instrument. I just want to play football. I ain't playing no piano. I ain't never sissies playing piano. So I just went ahead and started playing piano by my own. And then, of course, after that, I heard her feelings, so she didn't never bring it back again. So I ended up hanging around with these 2 friends of mine, Pat and Victor, and we created this group called the Joy Unlimited Singers. And they've been around for a long time, 30 years, 40 years. And we finally got started with that. And then they taught me my first 2 songs. Went to college. I didn't know how to play nothing. And then that first semester, we had 5 musicians. And then they said, well, we got some good news, we got some bad news. Good news is the musicians that we have today, they're all playing for us. But at the end of the semester, they all leaving. We won't have no musician. I was like, oh, man, I thought I was going to learn from them. But they said, we do have a ram in the bush. Phillip Brown. I was like, huh? No, I only knew 1 song. I was like, and they said, he's going to be playing for us. So I went in and went for it. And then they were like, every time people are in music, their expectations is that you know how to play everything and that you can do it all. And then when you don't make them, when you're in a rehearsal, they try to correct you and all of that stuff. Well, back then I was in my East Coast vibe, and I was like, okay, I know y'all got all these things. I'm just trying to hang on as much as I can. But basically, if you don't shut up, I'm taking you outside, I'm going to slap you. So that's how I dealt with people back then, because I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, hey, I'm just trying to do the best I can. So I was trying to make it through there. It took me 16 weeks to teach 2 songs. We had 2 engagements a week every time. We always had to do the song I knew and 12 Gates to the City a cappella. So I was embarrassed. Went back home, learned, I got on the piano for 8 hours a day, didn't know what I was doing, just hitting stuff. And then I learned about 8 more songs. I came back and then I started playing for a church. And then I started playing for the LBC choir, Legion of Black Collegiates at the University of Missouri. And then by that time I left school, went on, started playing for other people. And then I just been playing ever since then. I play for almost every major artist that there is, except for Kim Burrell, because so I don't even want to say nothing about that. But anyway, I haven't played for her, but it probably was pretty much by choice. I didn't want to have to do a Kirk Franklin. Because I don't feel her. I went in and did that, went into teaching. And because of my mom and her reputation, I could go anywhere I wanted to. I would do say Ann Brown, I was in. I didn't even fill out no application. I just told them who my mom was, and they said, there's your office over there. That's how I got all my jobs. Sorry, so unfair. Wasn't no relationships in that. It's about reputation. So my mom got me every job I got. But then the good thing was I picked up her and my dad's characteristics and work ethic, and that's why I've been working the last 36 years as a classroom teacher, teaching music. And then I'm really excited now because I got a new musical concept where you don't need nothing but one class. And it's called P plus M equal D. Now it's based off of the STEM concepts, and some of y'all know what that is, a STEAM, but we won't go into that. But basically I take physical education plus music, and you learn how to sing and play, and then we create some kind of drama. I'll show you one of the pieces we did. That would have been cool. But basically got the kid and acting and doing all this stuff using the physical education and musical concepts presented in the class. And it covers everything: engineering, language, arts, mathematical concepts, music concepts, singing, sciences as far as sound engineering, and all the graphic design. It just does everything. I've taught from preschool all the way to college. So, but right now I have a couple of contracts, elementary school, and then sometimes I do high school students. So I really get everybody. I K through 12 pretty much. So one example of PMD is that when they get to class, they got to do 15 push-ups. So once they can get their push-ups done and they get their juices flowing and all that stuff, the reason for the push-ups is when you do an NFL combine, they expect you to do 250 pounds 20, 30 times.
What's the NFL combine got to do with push-ups, got to do with music?
That's the physical education piece, because we got all these people that are in the NFL and the NBA, and they talking about a scrub contract is $9 million. So I don't know what kind of occupation you would get in, you're going to make $9 million. Or in the NBA, they have a 10-day contract. The average 10-day contract is $146,000. To me, you need to pick something that's going to pay you the most. So you should go for sports first. And then if you want to fall back on something, you can fall back on music, or you can fall back on movies. It's up to you what you want to fall back on. But if they paying that much for that stuff, you should need to do that first. So everybody of age should be running 40-yard dashes, doing vertical jump, doing standing broad jump, doing push-ups so they can be strong enough to do a chest press and do everything that they ask you to do so you can get that money. Get that first. That's why P is first. Physical education is going to lead you to a 10-day contract, $146,000, or a $9 million scrub contract where you're in the NBA and you're not even starting and you're making $9 million a year, $27 million over 3 years. That's ridiculous. And Dak Prescott, he just got $160 million. Mm-hmm. And he ain't even the top 15 quarterback, not even close. And he got 160. Did I say that? $160 million. that don't even make sense, and he ain't even the best. Everybody knows he's not the best. You can surround him with Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill. You can surround him with Jerry Rice and bring him back. Terrell Owens, you can give him all four of them and let them have 14 people on the same thing, and the Dallas Cowboys will not even win the division. And he got $160 million. Do sports first. Then do music too. Music is the glue. So music gives you a higher logical skills, higher critical thinking skills. So music in itself, you can make a career out of it, but it's a career just like being a doctor and a lawyer and an engineer, and you be a musician. Or you should just go ahead and try. You run you a 4.4 40-yard dash and go ahead and get that money. What's wrong with a $1 million contract? Be a super scrub, but you'll make $1 million sitting on the bench not doing nothing.
Wow.
Dog. No, I don't know how people say, oh, yeah, do education. Yeah, whatever. Do education you want to. Do your physicals first. Then do your education second. Then if you make it, then you can afford to pay all that stuff. Or you start your own university. One guy, he started his own pro day. He went and invited all these coaches in, and he had them come in and look at him. He did it himself.
All right. So sorry to cut you off, but I just wanted us to shift to the next question, which is, how do you, Phillip, encourage responsible behavior in the classroom? The second part of that question is, how are relationships important even at the grade school level?
Well, you'll have to cut me off because I read Mad Magazine, so that gives you 12 responses to every question. So I got 120 responses to every question. And then the way I manage my class is I let them know that I'm crazier than they are. So they don't know how far I'm going to go. So they're sitting there holding their breath, hopefully that I won't traumatize them. So that's how I manage them. So I just let them know everything needs to stay in Mr. Brown's mind. I just want it to stay there. You don't want me to tell you what I think of you. I said, wow. The only thing we're here to do is to have fun and to learn something that's going to make you a lot of money. That's all I want to do. Now, if you distract me and do all the other stuff, then I have to tell you what I'm thinking. And that's what helps me manage my class, because they don't want to find out what's on Mr. Brown's mind. I'm a Christian man, but I don't have to cuss you out, but I can lead you to a psychosis. And that's what I do. And I don't call them dumb, stupid, retarded. I don't do that. But boy, when I get done with them, they just think the world's coming to an end. So that's pretty much how I do it. But also it's because they have extreme fun. So I tell them one of my main concepts is that there's nothing to tell you that you've been to music unless you put a product out. You might have got on the bus, but then that don't mean you came to music. What's the proof that you was in music? Did you have some homework? Can I go to my folder and find that work? Can you bring your parents in and teach them a song or sing a song that you learned in music? Or did you go to the liquor store? We don't know. How will we know that? You got to have proof. Or you have an iMovie, or you got something else, a TikTok. So you have evidence that you at home, because I watch all these TikToks and all these people at home doing stupid stuff. So, it's a whole bunch of production about jocularity and jocularity situations. But when you're in music, you got to be able to put out something. So you got to be able to come out of there playing an instrument, being able to sing, being able to act and do some kind of drama piece that shows that you were there. And I have that at one of the schools that I'm at, and love the school. Just love the school. They let me do whatever I want to do, and I give them high quality work, super high quality work. So I don't have any problems getting people to do what I want them to do. And then is just let them know, well, if you're going to act that way today, you won't be out. I'm about to do an edit and cut you out this movie. So that pretty much keeps them from not doing that. Because when I get done with them, I will take that picture. I will make them fly. I will put them in an ocean. I will have them rise to the sky and then come back down. I can make them do flips, turns. I can make them do anything. So you can mess around with Mr. Brown if you want to. You'll be in one of them swift edits. Swag bundle gone, swag bundle at a lowness. No, beloved, my son, act right in class. You won't have to worry about getting this. See this, son? You're about to get that.
All right, well, Phillip, this was great. We'll have to come back and do some more of it. Thank you so very much for accepting this interview invitation. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to P2P Relates, where we talk about all things relationship. Hit that subscribe button, and that way you can be a part of this group where we're going to start more and more talking as a collective about relationships. And also, if you tap the bell, whenever I upload, which is every Friday, you will get notification. And finally, give us a like on this conversation. Comments are always welcome, and I will see you next Friday. Bye. Thanks, Phillip.